Except for Zayn and FX, which was just, you know, that match was just untoppable.
That's all Alex's fault. And then, you know, because I had the title, you know, I was trying to kill SWC, and yeah, it was SWC at that point.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I had the old belt that I stole from you, which technically I wasn't a double champion. Yeah, just, I don't know, like there's a lot to that. There's a lot of dynamics, and like our match had a lot of throwbacks and stuff like that. Not a lot of people know.
That's the next question on the list is go in depth on the storyline with me.
Oh, okay, yeah. Basically, I stole the belt, wanted to kill your company, avoided you. We never had a singles match when I came back. We just had tag matches and stuff. And there's dogs in my room.
Dogs.
And I don't want them to bump over the tripod. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, I avoided you, and I was undefeated. And so then when we finally had our match, CTK was manned from ringside. If they interfered, I forfeited the title to you. And at that point, that was unheard of, me not having CTK there. And then you beat me, but your shoulders were down.
Right.
Which we blatantly stole from Chewy and Dave. Blatantly stole it. It was supposed to, then Troy was supposed to come out, hype everyone up, and
Troy did an awful job. That was the worst possible thing that he could have said.
Yeah.
He didn't even remember his one sentence.
Right. But that was the motivation behind that, was he pinned me the first time. And, you know, anytime you see like a thing like that, like an obvious, you know, no, you have the option to restart, it's always a champion retaining. So then immediately you beat me again, you know. You got the belt back, then I started a feud with JP. Yeah.
And then the blow off at New Beginnings.
Yeah, New Beginnings. Yeah, at that point, I was doing anything, you know, to get respect and stuff like that. So that was the match of who was better, because every... I hope she was in the frame right there. If she wasn't, Molly just walked in front of the tripod, looked up, has a biscuit in her mouth, chewed, and walked away. I hope to God that's in the shot.
It's probably not. I feel like it wasn't, but that was funny.
I hope that reaction in the like, just keep that in there.
Of course. There's not going to be a lot of editing done here.
Okay.
So, out of all the matches you had, who do you feel that you had great chemistry with, and who did you have not so good chemistry with?
I don't really feel like I had great chemistry with anyone, really, other than JP, because we wrestled for so... we wrestled so often. You and I kind of had good chemistry.
Yeah.
Trey and I had great chemistry.
Yeah, that's definitely up there.
We're the same wrestler, kind of. We do the same moves. Chemistry. You know, I haven't really wrestled too many people more than once.
Yeah.
So that's hard to say. I feel like so I guess that kind of coincides with the next question. I don't think I had good chemistry with anyone, so bad chemistry. You know, towards the end of my career with my concussion, I wasn't clicking with anyone. So, I mean, sorry Two-Step, sorry Doug, sorry everyone that I wrestled that had a less than stellar match. At least I know that that was because of my head and not because of, you know, carelessness or whatever. But I feel like I let them down, and I'm really hard on myself to this day about it. If I could redo it, I would. I mean, I apologize. Hopefully you didn't hate it as much as I did, and I hate some of those matches, not because of you guys, but because of me. So, hope you forgive me. So I'm going to say, you know, just anyone I had a bad match with.
What's your biggest regret in wrestling?
Headshots.
Obviously.
Headshots.
Any specific ones?
No, all of them contributed.
Yeah.
But I mean, like...
I'm not a fan of the doors and legit kicks against Brandon.
It's funny, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't seen that match, I'm sure we could maybe put up a clip or something with just highlights, maybe on a little video box or whatever. Just
something.
Just something to see while we're talking about this.
Yeah,
like,
I'll show something.
Yeah. So during that match, I definitely got knocked loopy, and then proceeded to get kicked in the head 3 times. Yeah, basically any headshots. You know, now that I know what I ended up becoming, That's a big regret. But yeah.
If you were given just one do-over, only one, in your entire backyard wrestling career, what would it be?
One do-over. That was actually a very convenient time for in the park. One do-over. That's hard. Probably pull myself from me versus Andy versus Arbo versus Ryan, because I wasn't back in the groove of everything and I was off that match. It was hot. I blew a couple spots. Played that match. Probably us versus Vancouver's. I blew a couple spots because I got confused on which we were practicing spots and I switched it.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one.
Yeah, now that I know what the spots were, supposed to do, probably maybe that, I guess. I don't know.
And the whole fact that, like, the way that it went down.
Yeah, the fact that I ended up getting knocked out because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll go with that one then. Because, you know, that wasn't fair to you.
This is about me. Let's see what else we got here. Do you, did you learn anything from wrestling that you'll always remember as a life lesson? Lindsay wants to know, is that supposed to be a memory joke?
Did she actually write that?
Yeah, it's right there. Is that supposed to be a memory joke?
And then she wrote LOL.
LOL.
I was afraid you would have yelled at me if I actually LOL with this, you know. It's fine.
Not really. I mean, I am the way I am because of my upbringings, you know, give everyone respect, give respect, you know, get respect. Do unto others is always how I've been brought up. I like to think of myself as a nice guy. I don't really know. Maybe be more vocal, be more, because I was a shy kid in 9th grade, and then once I met everyone, I opened up, so I mean, I guess maybe not that.
Maybe took a little overboard.
Maybe I can't remember. Maybe I can't remember anything else. I guess it is a memory joke. Thanks for the refill, by the way.
Any words of advice for the kids that look up to you?
Don't take headshots. Anything else? Listen. Always try and do better. Be very hard on yourself. I mean, even if you feel like you had a good match, just tell yourself it sucked because you're gonna want to try and make it better. Learn everything. Wrestling is a sport. It's supposed to be a competition. You're supposed to go into that match wanting to win. Make me believe that you want to win. That's a very crucial thing about wrestling. Don't do a suplex and pick someone up right away. I mean, you can get away with that if you're a heel, if you're taunting the crowd, but if you're watching a boxing match and Tyson knocks out Mayweather, they're the only two boxers I know.
Wow.
And Mayweather goes down and Tyson picks him back up. What's the point?
Exactly.
You know, don't try and get all your stuff in. Try and tell a story. Try and make me believe it's real. Just be, I don't know, willing to listen, I guess. Just all those things.
What's your scariest and happiest moments in the ring?
Scariest is probably, well, we were talking about this earlier. Scariest moment in the ring didn't take place in the ring. It started in the ring. Then I ended up outside of the ring looking up and not knowing where I was, basically passing out in my match. I got the wind knocked out of me like 3 times. Did a drop kick, which I wasn't supposed to do.
In Vancouver's match.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to do that. But we had talked about it, so I got confused. Came down on my hand, on that one area where you get the wind knocked out of you, hard. And I remember turning over to Scott and saying, I just knocked the wind out of myself. And he said something along the lines of, okay, take a break. Next thing I know, I'm dreaming. I had a nice dream, couldn't tell you what it was. And then I eventually remembered, oh yeah, I never went to sleep. It's not nighttime. And I remember waking up, seeing the lights. So that was pretty scary. You know, I've never been knocked out before. That was scary. Yeah, I almost got choked up just thinking about that. And the happiest moment? I mean, anytime someone came up to me and said good match, I mean, the feeling I got when everyone clapped or cheered when they saw me and Andy square off would be an unreal feeling. I'll never forget ETW Out of Control 2, which you weren't there for. But,
Right.
It was ETW's biggest show. Every time I walked through the curtain, I got chills. And I quad worked that day. I played one masked character, played another one, played Sean Phoenix, and then did a dark match with Joey Explicit because he was there. 4 out of 4 times got chills. There was actually fans there. That was a good moment. Just finally getting an ESW match was great. So many. Any that was awesome chance, or after a match that was awesome chant means a lot more than a spot. I didn't get too many of those, but when I did, it felt great. So I mean that question could probably be answered by anyone.
Yeah.
Nothing really in specific.
Are there any angles that you came up with that you think could use?
That I remember.
Yeah, that goes a long way on this. Probably should have picked a better person.
In ECW, we did an angle where it was Ronnie, who doesn't wrestle anymore, and Eric, my brother. We started it, but it didn't come to anything. We had this mask character. Wasn't wearing a lucha mask, just a Jason mask, dressed up in a hoodie. Kidnapped Eric. Mid-match. Then we filmed the vignette. We tried to make it as real as possible with like backstage promos and stuff. We had a handheld camera, and they were recording Eric tied up to a tree. They put a towel over his head and punched him, saying he wants, he's gonna get what he wants, and like there's blood. And then I don't remember if it happened or whatever, but I think Ronnie ended up getting kidnapped or whatever. And then I think at this point ECW died, but we were going to go to the woods to try and find Eric and find the blood-soaked towel and find a fake blood thing next to it. So it was staged. So then at that point it was, okay, who was the attackers? It was going to be both Ronnie and Eric.
That's
and
awesome.
they were going to frame each other, or frame themselves, to try and get a world title shot and a U.S. title shot. That would have been cool. I was really liking the where we were going with that. I thought that was different. In retrospect, it probably isn't. It's probably been done before, but it was different to us. Then I remember, wasn't there a time, excuse me, I'm drinking Pepsi, by the way. Pepsi makes me burp. I'm trying my best not to burp. Remember, there was a time where it was like, was it me and Josh and you gonna form a faction?
CTK2.
CTK was gonna come back. Not with like the same wrestlers. It was gonna be a babyface faction.
Yeah.
And it was gonna be me bouncing back from the depressed angle of doing anything for my friends to win them back. And we were gonna take care of one another and stuff like that. I don't remember where we were going with that. It was like in 2010.
Yeah, that ended up turning into The Awakening.
Kind of.
Like in its very basic form, that's what kind of started The Awakening.
I think the pen name coming kind of screwed that up a bit.
Yeah.
That threw it off, and we started to die at that point. I just remember there was talk that that The Awakening angle was, I guess you could say, was one that didn't really finish. I'm sure there's more, but I can't remember. So that's a good question, though.
All right. When you were training, what was the easiest thing for you to learn, and what was the hardest?
I went into training acting like I knew nothing. I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, I did my best to forget everything. However, for some reason, we did this spot where we were tying up and going straight into a headlock, I remember. And it was tie up, pull back, headlock. And it was me and Marshall Gambino. I don't know if anyone knows